I had trouble getting into sollew by Dr. Seuss. I was real happy and carefree and young, and I lived in a place called the Valley of Vung, and nothing not ever wore wrong. Until, well, one day I was walking along, and I guess I got careless. I guess I got to gawking at daisies, not looking where I was walking. And that's how it started. Sock with the shock. It stubbed my big toe on a very hard rock, and I flew through the air, and I went for a sound, sprained the main bone in the tip of my tail. That's how it started. No, now, I never had ever had troubles before, so I said to myself, I don't want any more. If I watch out for rocks with my eyes straight ahead, I'll keep out for trouble forever, I said. But watching ahead, well, it just didn't work. I was watching those rocks, then I felt a hard jerk. A very fresh green-headed guagliguel sneaked up in the back and wet my tail. And I learned these troubles so one of a kind. Some come from ahead and some come from behind. She said, so I said, now I'll just have to start to be twice as careful and twice as smart. I'll watch out for trouble in front and back sections by aiming my eyeballs in different directions. I found this to be quite a difficult stunt, but now I was safe both in back and in front. The new troubles came from above and below. The skirts at my neck, it shrink at my toe. And I never really in trouble. You know, the rocks and the quail, the squirts, the shrink, and so many troubles I just couldn't think. Yeah, I know where you're coming from. The last 2 or 3 years. There I was, all completely surrounded by trouble. Within a chap rumpled up, one wheeler wobble. Young fellow, he said, what has happened to you? He's happened to me and other folks too. So I tell you what I just decided to do. I'm off to the city of sollew, on the banks of the beautiful river Wahoo. And whoa, where they never have troubles, at least very few. Where? To the beautiful river of Wahoo? No, it's not very far, and my camel is strong, and he can get us there fast. Come on. So hop on, come along. I jumped up, and then all through the day, the wobbled on and wobbled some way. The road got bumpy, but rocky, but tricky. But midnight, I tell you, my stomach felt icky. And so I said, Mister, please, when we don't get there to a wonderful town, are we almost there yet? Are we there yet? Young fellow, he told me, don't start in that stew. At sunrise, we'll drive into sollew, and you'll never have no problems. I promise. I do. But when dawn came on in the darkness got light, the wonderful city was nowhere in sight. Instead of the city, we ran into trouble. Our camel got sick. He started to bubble. We had him all one wheeler wobble. So there we was in a dreadful position. Our camel sure needed a camel physician. Now, the doctors for camels are not often seen, especially on mountains. They're far between. But we pulled that old wobble and set out to find some doctor while dragging a camel behind. I pulled, and the next thing I knew, I was crawling. I was pulling that camel, and wobble chap too. Now really I thought this is rather unfair. But he said, don't you stew, I'm doing my share. This is called teamwork. I finished the brains. You finished the muscles, the aches, and the pains. I'll pick up the best road. They need to know where to go, and we'll find a good doctor more quickly, Then he sat and he worked at his brain and his tongue, and he bossed me around just because I was young. He told me go left and don't go right, and that's what he told me all day and all night. Next morning, we located Dr. Sam Snell. We knew all about the tassels and camels as well. Our camel, he said, he had a bad case of leaks. He should lie flat in bed for 20 weeks. I was tired. I was ready. I was ready to go in bed. I was ready to crawl in bed. But the wobble chap said, hey, he said, your troubles are practically all at the end. Just run down this hill and around the next bend. And you'll come to Happy Way bus route, my friend. The Happy Way bus route leaves at 4:42 and will take you directly to sollew on the banks of the beautiful river Wahoo, where they never have troubles, at least very few. Talk about a long story. Well, this bus stop was there and the part was just fine, but tackled on a stick was a very small sign. Notice the passengers using our lane. We're sorry, our driver, but your miners, blah, 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 blah. Well, look at him. Another bus stop. But I wish you a most pleasant journey by feet. So I went and I said, well, I ruined my feet. Something like that. 100 miles later, my feet were so sore then we didn't know. It started to rain and started to pour. It got so drenched, slicker and slicker. I said, I'm going to pick up my things. This chap is gone like a fish in a snicker. I ran in the house and fell asleep. I said, no more owls. I'm sick of this beep. Then I dreamed I was sleeping billows off of silk and satin marshmallow soft pillows. Oh, yeah. I dreamed I was sleeping in sollew on the banks of the river. Wow. And never there had troubles, at least very few. And I woke up, and it just wasn't true. I was crashing down here on a flammer's flood with suds in the eyes and a mouth full of mud and my nose full of water and the ears full of shrieks and flying off and the mice and the beaks. And I said to myself, now really, I don't see what troubles like this happen to me because he's accident prone. Maybe. For days without toothpaste or soap, you almost given up hope. Here, catch this rope. Thank you, my friend. How long is this story? Till it never ends? Gee-miny, creaminy, this sword slasher said, woo. And these guys over here said, whoop, whoop, whoop. We're getting through this book as fast as we can because we're about tired and this tape's to the end. And all of a sudden we said, with the disgust, oh, never mind, I'm fine where I'm just. But then all these things came after me quickly, and they're yellow and scary, and I don't know what's with me. But I woke up in the middle of my bed, and it was in my head. I had trouble staying alive, the old pipe said, number 5. So somehow we went down this thing, and it was kind of the end of the book for graduate students of nursing material to read out loud, and should be part 8 of 9, and whatever. My gosh, how long is it, Gaddy? We'll have to continue this in part 2, the part 2 green guy in the thing. Grandpa says, I love you and miss you. Happy Thanksgiving.